Taylor Elwood here, and welcome to my latest live stream here. Today, I'm talking about inner alchemy of life, my physiological approach to working magic. I've written a couple of books, Inner Alchemy and Inner Alchemy of Life, where I've described my work with neurotransmitters and hormones as spirits and working with the microbiotic life. And I've decided I would do some videos about this because I thought it would be an interesting topic to explore. What I want to share today is kind of the history of this, how I got into doing this work, and discuss a little bit about what this system is. So let's talk about the system itself. The system is a system of magic where you work with the neurotransmitters and the hormones and the microbiota of your life as spirits. And you create collaborative relationships with them where you're able to work with the physiology of your body in order to help you achieve different states of experience with that body. This can be done both in terms of doing work around your health, work around digestion, work around sleep, work around sexuality, but also just in relationship to creating longer sustained states of altered consciousness and things along those lines. I got into this work when I was 20 years old. So this would be about, I'm 46 now. So it would be about 26 years ago. So a long time ago. And I got into it because I had been diagnosed with bipolar 2, which I guess, or manic depression, by what's known as bipolar 2 now. And indeed, I did have a biogenetic predispensation toward depression. And I wanted to find a way to change the chemical cocktail in my head so that I would no longer get depressed all the time, because I was a very depressed person. And so when I was 20 years old, what I did is I had been reading Barbara Ann Brennan's Hands of Life, as well as a book called Biohacking, or Hacking the Human Biocomputer by John Lilly. And I read these books, and they describe, and Barbara Ann Brennan described how to work with his concepts in relationship to energy work. And I thought it was interesting, but I decided to take it a step further. And what I did is I developed a path working where I went into my brain and I turned up my serotonin so that my uptake cycle would increase with serotonin. What that meant is that the serotonin would last in my brain longer, because I realized that the problem for me with depression was that my serotonin was not lasting long enough. And when you have an experience where if you can understand the physiological aspects of a given state of being, and you can change it, then you can start to transform your overall health. So what I did is I tweaked and changed my serotonin so that the uptake cycles would last longer, and so the serotonin would stay in my brain. And what ended up happening is that overnight, I stopped being depressed all the time, because I had changed the neurochemical aspects of my brain by developing this path working. And it helped me to really it transformed my life. I was no longer depressed and unhappy. I was no longer feeling like I was just going through the motions of life. And and best of all, I didn't have to take any medicine to do this, because I didn't want to take any medicine around it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're somebody who's suffering from depression and your doctor's, told you to take medicine, then take medicine. I'm not going to, tell you not to do that. I just knew for me, that was the choice I made. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to figure out a way to resolve this through magic. And I thought that it could be done that way. And it also helped that I had read the Dune saga, and the thing that fascinated me about Dune was the Bene Gesserit witches and how they could physiologically change their overall state of being through change the physiology. And so I thought, there's something here. So that was the first working that I did. And then in the 2000s, I started developing this work even further by starting to explore. I got curious, if I could do this with serotonin, was there a way to develop an ongoing relationship with the neurotransmitters and the hormones of my body? And I developed an initial system that was based around path working, where I would have people personify the neurotransmitters and the hormones of their body as spirits that they could work with, and the spirits would appear to them in a form that they could connect with, and would communicate with them using human language in order to facilitate communication. Uh, you know, I figured if it works for traditional spirits, it ought to work for anything else. And it did work. I tested this extensively, both with myself and with a group of other people. And what we found is that we were able to develop consistent results where we could talk with a neurotransmitter or hormone of our body and negotiate changes within our body through that conversation. But there was something missing from it. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about what was missing. What I do want to note is that this initial approach did produce some very fruitful results, and it has led me down a road of work with this that even to this day I've continued to develop and work on. And it's something that really just fascinates me in general with the physiology of the body. That the body can be worked with, and that there's ways to work with it in relationship to traumatic memories and other experiences along those lines. Like, we do not have to live a life defined solely by the negative experiences or things like that. I've read, The Body Remembers the Score by Vessel van der Bolk, whatever his name is. But, and I agreed with it. I mean, there's a lot of good findings and research there, but I've also found ways to work around some of that with this work, and we'll discuss that later in the series. But this is just kind of something this is something that is kind of near and dear to my heart. It's a system of magic that I developed a long time ago, and a few people have worked with it over the years. I would definitely like to see more people work with it, and I thought I would do a short video series to talk about it, because it's really an interesting system of magic that's really based around how to transform your relationship with your body. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.